Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahai, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha. It's Yahweh Shah. So got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Quarash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth of the full ends of the earth. The entire world share light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Aqua who are listening, learning. If you sister who are listening, learning, coming to another lesson, true facts, faith, and edification, another day edification, Lord, will this be edified. I'm outside from GMS Orlando Camp, and I titled this lesson, The Pinnacle of Pride. And this is dealing with the last empire of the so-called white man. The pinnacle of his pride, which is this last and final empire of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now, the word pinnacle, it means the most successful point. So let me play this.
Pinnacle.
The most successful point. It's a highest level, peak, height, high point, summit, top, climax, crowning point, peak of perfection, right? This is the peak of the so-called white man's perfection, Babylon the Great America. And they tell you in Isaiah 47 that the Lord going to destroy the so-called white man in his perfection. So another word for pinnacle is say peak of perfection. Let's play it. Peak of perfection is a crowning point, summit. So summit, the highest attainable level of achievement. And this is what those G7 summit meetings are. So let me get this word summit. So this is the word summit.
Summit.
It say the highest point of a hill or mountain. It got top, peak, mountaintop, crest, crown, apex, tip, ridge, brink, needle, mountaintop, hilltop. So, and as the Davos meetings, this Davos means son of David. Those summit, G7 summits, is the pinnacle of the so-called white man. And I titled it this because the so-called white man's kingdom is falling. And I got some articles, but usually when I share these articles, StreamYard usually freezes. So what I want to do is I just want to mention these articles. I'm gonna get some precepts because we watching the so-called white man's kingdom fall, the pinnacle of his kingdom. Now, and this is in this one of these videos, it say Russia openly threatens to wipe out UK with hypersonic missiles. Putin aids chilling threat, right? Another one says Putin will attack Britain if Ukraine uses Storm Shadow missiles inside Russia. Putin will attack Britain if Ukraine uses Storm Shadow missiles inside Russia. These are videos, and I want to play them, but I ain't going to play them because I already know that it's going to freeze up. Now, Lord willing, and this is a video from Danny. His pages are Danny Hayapone, West's colossal mistake, U.S. decline, BRICS rise, tariffs destroy dollar. So what I want to do here, I want to play some of this. And I'm going to have to say this for tomorrow. I'm going to have to say this for tomorrow because I just want to make some points. Because I know it's late and this, I'm sure this, if I play these videos, they're going to be freezing up. So what I'm going to do is I'll wait till tomorrow when I need a plantation and I'll play these. But I'm reading these articles. There are a couple of videos I want to play. Because one of the videos from Richard Wolff, which I love this guy. That he always going into the downfall, how Babylon the Great is being destroyed. Now this is an article. It says, come on. See, this is what I'm saying. This is why I waited too late. It say China freezes assets of 9 U.S. firms over Taiwan arms sales. China freezes assets of 9 U.S. firms over Taiwan's arms sales. Just a few. This is a few I want to get. See, I waited too late. So I'm gonna do another part 2 tomorrow, and I'm gonna play these videos. But right now, I just want to read these headlines, and I'm gonna get these titles. I'm gonna get these headlines of these videos, and then I got a couple articles here. See, because they buffering. Now they buffering the articles. Yep. I'm gonna read that too. So this last one say, come on, man. It say Russia gave Iran nuclear bomb secrets in return for missiles to strike Ukraine. Right? So they buffering. So let me just get a couple precepts. So let me read this from the brother. Hey, Shalom Yabba Shema Shabbarakathum. This is from GMS Memphis Nabar. Hey, Shalom Mark. Hey, Yabba Shema Shabbarakathum. Hey, the brothers love the garments, man. The water. So this is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God. I was thinking about this earlier. And his heart is turned away from his maker. And that's Esau Edom, man. His heart turned away from the Lord, man. The beginning of pride is when one departed from power and his heart is turned away from his maker. And that's why I say in Isaiah 45 and 9, woe to him that striveth with his maker. And that's what Esau has done. He's striving against his maker. I want to play these videos so bad, but I know they're gonna freeze up. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna play them tomorrow. I got a couple videos I want to play. One from this guy, he's interviewing my boy Richard Wolff. He's going in. I love Richard Wolff, man. That either might be going in on America, man. So Lord willing, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this tomorrow to play those videos. I waited too late. For some reason, the internet should be good at night, but every time I do, it freezes up. So I'm just gonna read these precepts. So the first one I'm gonna get here, 4, because as the brother put up that Ecclesiastes 10 and 12, again it reads, the beginning of pride is when one departed from God and his heart turneth away from his maker. So the earth was made for the Hebrew Israelites. And they tell you in Deuteronomy 32 that just one waxed fat and kick. So now the earth is in the hand of the so-called white man. So this is what the Lord say. Psalm 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. And this is what the so-called white man has done. So I got a few precepts. So this is Isaiah 2 and 5. Because, man, Babylon the Great is falling, man. They are falling. And I got these articles and these videos, man. Fire. America is through, man. And I want to play them so bad, but I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow. This is Isaiah 2 and 5. It reads. So it shouldn't be taking this long. Yeah. See, I waited too late. Isaiah 2 and 5. Even Blue Letter acting crazy. It reads, O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. It reads, therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east and are soothsayers like the Philistines. This is what we did when we went to the land of Canaan, man. And the Lord said, learn out the way of the heathen. And we did exactly that. And they pleased themselves in the children of strangers. Now, this guy that came to camp Saturday, he want to read Isaiah 56, talking about the children of strangers, talking about those was heathens. Well, why is the Lord saying right here? And I just caught this today. Isaiah 2 and 6. Therefore has thou forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east. Nigga done fill themselves up. It say, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. What strangers? The Philistines, the heathens, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, right? The Hittites. Their land also is full of silver and gold, the idols. Neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses. Neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which they own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humble himself. Therefore, forgive them not. It's talking about Israelites, right? Well, now it applies to the so-called white man. Verse 11, the lofty look of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And we know in Genesis 3 and 15, Genesis 3 and 14, the Lord said that the so-called white man, he said he's the curse of all the beasts of the field, and thus shall he eat all the days of his life. Right? The basis of men. Verse 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. And I really want to play these videos bad, but I'm trying my best not to. So let me get, man, Isaiah 3. And 2/3 of our people, because the Lord had to intervene in the hopeful elect, whoever they are, which being the predestinated ones, to humble their spirit, because we all was following the ways of the world, which was the leadership of the so-called white man. This is Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. The oppressors are the so-called white man, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee call thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And the apostles and elder bishops and elders always talk about how the women is the head of the house now. So it say, as for my people, children are their oppressors, which is the Edomites. These are the oppressors, and women rule over them. Because the so-called white man they removed the men at the house, and the women became the head of the house, right? As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. And what the Lord said about the women in Isaiah 3, we in the same chapter right here, Isaiah 3, that they walk with what did it say, verse 16? Let me jump down. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. Well, where did they get that from? Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee call thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. So the Lord said, the children are oppressors and women rule over us. And they got it from the so-called white man. In Jeremiah 31:22, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. How and why? Because the so-called white man, first, he put his own woman on the plantation. And this was the fall of the so-called white man's rulership in the 60s when they put their women on the plantation. And going back to the 50s when they created trousers for women. Because it was all women's in dresses, Edomite women in dresses, Israelite women in dresses on the plantation. And then I forget the woman now I did a lesson on some months ago, the woman that created trousers for women. But see, first, as I mentioned this a lot at last Friday camp. So when the Lord said in Obadiah 1 that he's gonna when the so-called white man said his nest amongst the stars, the Lord said, "Thence will I bring him down." So when they set the space station up, right? That was the fall of the so-called white man. Going back to the 30s, I got a video, and I might have to play one of these videos. But going back to the 1930s, which it started in 29, the crash of 29, that was the downfall of the so-called white man. That was the downfall of Babylon the Great. The crash of 29, man. So then you had they created the trousers for women. Esau set his space station up. And the Lord had Abba Bibbins on the scene, reincarnated John the Baptist, Elijah on the scene. This was the downfall of the so-called white man. So they've been falling ever since. And first he put his woman on the plantation, the Edomite woman, and then the Judite woman on the plantation. Then it went down to the Northern Kingdom women. So this nigga height, let's get this. His pride, this is Proverbs. And there's a lot of Edomites coming out with this information. I might get all these precepts out and then I'll play this video. I'll take out a few of them, but I'm gonna play one. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. See, better is it to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. And the so-called white man is proud. And 2/3 of our people are dividing the spoil, allegedly, with the proud, which is so-called white man. Because they only getting kibbles and bits. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians and Haitians that made a covenant with this nigga, you only getting kibbles and bits. This is Isaiah 5 and 15. It reads, and the mean man shall be brought low. That's talking about Esau eating the so-called white man. And the mighty man shall be humbled. In the eyes of the lofty, Salakia, and the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled. In the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. See? So this mean man shall be brought down to where? Back to the basis of men. Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust. Yeah. This is Isaiah 26. In verse 5 it reads, for he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he layeth it low. The lofty city is America, Babylon the Great. He layeth it low, even to the ground. That's Isaiah 47 1. He bringeth it even to the dust. Hold on. In Genesis, what did the Lord say? Genesis 3 and 14. The Lord said he's going to bring it even to the dust. What the Lord said is in prophecy. Genesis 3 and 14. And Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. All nations is known as beasts. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life. So right here in Isaiah 25 and 6, for he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, which is America, Babylon the Great. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor. Who are the poor? It's going to be the elect. And the steps of the needy. Who is the poor needy? The remnant of Israel, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. This is Jeremiah. I might have to play this, man. Lord willing, we can get some of it. And I'll play the rest tomorrow. Lord willing. But I'm gonna get these precepts. So just in case it frees up, I'm gonna get these precepts first. This is Isaiah 51 and 52. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, to my Babylon the Great, and through all her land. Who? The harlot's land. The wounded shall groan. Who is the her? Revelation 17, the harlot that sits on the scarlet colored beast. See, though Babylon should mount up to heaven, what it said in Isaiah, and it will say Revelation 18, the sins that have reached into heaven. This is what's mounted up to the heavens, man. The wickedness of America, Babylon the Great. Let's read 52 again. Jeremiah 51 and 52. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength. See, the perfection of America. One of the words for summit, it said the peak of perfection. This is the peak of America is the peak of perfection. As I always say, the Greek empires, when they established the sword, they established their wickedness. The Roman Empire is when they magnified the sword, they magnified their wickedness. This last empire, this American empire, this last Edomite empire is when they have perfected the sword. They perfected their wickedness. It say through Babylon, it say though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me Yahweh say, shall spoilers come upon her, saith Yahweh. See, this is yeah, this place is lifted up, man. And everybody that's following Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is lifted up, man. This nigga can't account. This, I think the nigga's an Edomite. I don't think he Benjamin. Nigga had Sheba dropped down to his ass. That nigga mentioned the Blue Letter Bible, man. And I didn't get in. I did, but I didn't go into deep. I didn't really go into hitting, really driving it home. I said, nigga, you mentioned the Blue Letter Bible, so I know he came out there for us. Cause when I came up to camp, I came up first. I try to get there every Friday before brothers because people be getting downtown early on Saturday, and I try to get there to get a free park because I don't got $10 every week to pay the motherfucking parking attendant to give motherfucking $10. So I try to get down there. I leave the crib about 4:30 so I can get down there to get a free park because I don't got $10 every week to give a bitch for parking. The Lord been blessing me for months to get a free park. Anyway, so when I get there, I see this nigga at the bus stop. At the bus stop right next to, right across the street from the library where we camp at. I see this nigga standing there. So after the elder brother who always filmed the videos, whoever come up, the brother always start filming, and he sent them to me. He came up. After he came up, this nigga came over and said, and then the head brother Naharia came up, and then he started talking about how the 12 charted off, and we went into the whole thing about Ariah and all this. But that nigga said he mentioned the Blue Letter Bible. So I said, nigga, you got the blue, nigga, where you get that from? So you coming up against us, nigga, where you get the Blue Letter Bible from? Because Apostle Hall came across that. The Lord put the spirit on Apostle Hall to find the Blue Letter Bible. So anybody that say they got the Blue Letter Bible, that mean you watching the apostles. And then the nigga said, so I said, oh, we GMA. He said, wish y'all kept name? Nigga, you know who he is, nigga. You know who he is. Nigga, you came down here just for us. Stop it. So anyway, going back to this. Jake that's following the ways of the so-called white man. This is what this is about, man. The Lord lifted the so-called white man. 2/3 of Jacob lifted up. Niggas is dedicated to debunking the Hebrew Israelites. Going back to the video, the lesson I just did, how nigga talking about strangers, the sons of strangers. But in Isaiah 61, it said, strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Nigga, what are you talking about? They don't understand. Anyway, it say Isaiah 24 and 21, and it shall come to pass in that day. That's why Isaiah 13 and 15 say, everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, man. All you niggas that love the so-called white man, the Lord gonna fucking kill you, man. Isaiah 24 and 21, it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. If the Lord gonna do this to the niggas that's running the world, what he gonna do to you nigga that's following them? You slow-bellied, dumbass niggas. What he gonna do to you that's following the niggas that's running the world? What you gonna do to you niggas, man? Nigga gonna come up talking about the Blue Letter Bible. Nigga, you following the apostles, nigga. What are you talking about? Nigga talking about the Sabbath, Friday, sundown, the Saturday, sundown. We like, nigga, show me in the Bible. Show me in the fucking Bible, nigga. Show me. Anyone you slow better niggas out there, show me in the Bible. It say Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Then the nigga gonna say, so this before I think we can get this on camera. I don't know. He said, so cause we did we I think about good 30 minutes in before the camera. I said, man, turn the camera on, man. We need to get this shit on camera. We were about 30 minutes in. We was late getting started on Saturday. Fucking with this old Shiva Jata ass old bottle nigga. He talking about, so if the Sabbath ain't Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, so when is it? And what's the days of the weeks? We said, nigga, show us Monday in the Bible, you dumb nigga. Show me Saturday and Sunday in the Bible. So then we told him it's according to the new moon. I said, nigga, go read Psalms 81 and 3. He said, oh, so then what's the days of the week? Nigga, cause we say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He talking about Sunday is the first day. According to who? According to who, nigga? The so-called white man? Oh yeah, how about your mama shot? What's the first day? Nigga, get out of here with that bullshit. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. All we know is we said the new moon is the first day of the month, nigga. What are you talking about? I mean, the seventh day of the seventh day. Whatever the new moon come on, that's the Sabbath. That's when we rest. That's the seventh day. Salakia. So he told him the first day is Sunday. According to who? The Bible don't say Sunday is the first day. It don't say Monday is the first, second, third, fourth, Wednesday. None of that. All we said is, nigga, we dealing with scriptures. Psalms 8:1-3 say the new moon. Was that Sirach 43? Is Sirach 41 or 43? One of the two. And I said, so I quoted to him, I said, month. It said month. Let's read it, as a matter of fact. Because I quoted it to him. We didn't read the precept, but I quoted it to him after I quoted to him Psalms 81 and 3. Let me read this. Because it all go together. Salakia, a little bit of rant. But I'm using precepts. This is uh I forget where it's at. Where is it? Is it 43? Yep. So Ecclesiastes 43:6, it reads, he made the moon also to serve in her season for the declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that increaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name. And that's what I quoted to him. Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being the instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. So I said the word month come from moon, right? So he was like, oh, and then he jumped to something else. And like I showed you in the video, he kept jumping. Let me get this. See, that nigga said Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is the Sabbath. We said, nigga, no, it ain't. That ain't according to the Bible. So you following the ways of the world. Nigga, we following what the scriptures say. Isaiah 13. And this is what 2/3 of Jake gonna get put to death. As the title of the lesson is, man. The pinnacle of pride, man. And that applies to 2/3 niggas. Oh, before I get this, let me get this. Because Elder Aram from Alabama, when he came down, he brought this out too, man. It is heavy. This is heavy, man. Can't make this shit up. This is Psalms 23. Can't make this up, man. Psalm 23:4. Yeah, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Right? When you go to this word valley here, man, can't make this shit up, man. H1516, the word there is gay, Gay. You see it? Hold on.
Strong's H1516. First entry. Gah. Gah. Second entry. Gay. Gay. Third entry. Gah. Gah.
So when you go to the Strongs here, on this word gay for valley, H1466. Can't make this shit up, man. Look at what it say. Pride. What? Pride, a lifting up. Exaltation. Arrogance. Lifting up. Pride. Yeah. That's the valley of the shadow of death, man. Right here, America, Babylon the Great. So as 2/3 of our people is following this nigga, the so-called white man, Isaiah 13 and 15, you're gonna be destroyed with this nigga, man. Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So he watching the pride of this nigga be lifted up, man. And 2/3 of our people are being lifted up with him. That's that condition through gradualism. Because they love this system. Who was able to make war with the beast? It said they wanted after the beast, saying who was able to make war with the beast in Revelation what is that, 12? No, 13. One of the two. I think it's 13. Matthew 23 and 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. See, he's been lifted up, man. See it? The word for valley, for the word, the valley of the shadow of death. Shadow of death is a miracle. Babylon the Great. The valley is a miracle. This low land, man. Pride. You see it? Pride. A lifting up, man. Yeah, that's a miracle, man. Can't make this up. It was already written a four time ago for our learning. Now, I was thinking about this too, right? Because in Ecclesiastes 19, it says, let's read this. Ecclesiastes 19 and 29, it reads, a man may be known by his look, right? And one that have understanding by his countenance when thou seest him. It's a man may be known by his look, right? So I thought about this in Daniel 7 and 20. A man may be known by his look. And the scriptures point out Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as Babylon the Great America, right? Let's read this. Here's Daniel 7. Let me show you, it points out the pride, the lofty look of the so-called white man of America, Babylon the Great. This is Daniel 7:19. Then I would know the truth of the four beasts, which is the Roman Empire, which was diverse from all the others. So you had the Babylonians, the Medes and Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. It said, then I would know the truth of the four beasts, which were diverse, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. So it's 10 horns, right? 3 of them fell. The 3 that fell was the Spanish, the French, and the British. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great words. This is talking about America, Babylon the Great. Whose look, this is the point I want to make, because in Ecclesiastes 19 and 29, it said man may be known by his look, right? Whose look was more stout than his fellows. I thought about this. See, what look is this? Whose look was more stout than his fellows? It's talking about America, Babylon the Great. Because they stood over all the other nations, right? They stood out, which is which came out of Great Britain, the British, which is the revival of the Roman Empire. So let me show you this, Lord willing. So this is an interview with this one guy, and this is an interview from this one guy, and he's doing an interview with Richard Wolff. See if I can pull this up. I just want to play some of this. And I was just thinking about the pinnacle of their pride, man, which is being brought down, and 2/3 is being brought down with these Edomites, man. Right here. I want to play some of this. Lord willing. So bear with me here. Because I was just 10 minutes in on it. It's an hour video. So let me see if I can go. I want to get some of this.
Good afternoon to everyone viewing today on this Sunday. This is a special Sunday afternoon live stream. I generally don't go live today, but I had the opportunity to bring back on a very special guest, a friend of the show, and I will bring him on right now without further ado. It is Professor Richard Wolff joining us on his Sunday, economist, professor, author of many books, including the new book, which you can find in the video description, Understanding Capitalism. You can find that link in the video description for those who are interested. Professor Wolff, it is very much an honor to be back with you today.
And he always go in on capitalism, dealing with the Edomites. Okay? They just don't call the Edomites out. But he always say, him and Chris Hedges, Richard Wolff and Chris Hedges, they say words like capitalism, classism, which is talking about the elites.
Hey.
Well, the honor and the pleasure is mine as well, Danny. I appreciate your program, and I'm very glad to be here.
Great. So I wanted to first ask you about, there has been a lot of anger from the Eurozone about the IMF announcing it will visit Russia to evaluate its economy for the first time since the conflict in Ukraine began in February of 2022. I also wanted to ask you about this in the context of both your new book, Understanding Capitalism, and comments made by Vladislav Inozemstev, who is an economist at the very unfriendly to Russia MEMRI Institute, which is actually a Middle East focus. But he had this to say to Euro News, and I'm just gonna read it briefly. He said about sanctions that, firstly, the sanctions do not have a critical impact on the economy of Russia as a whole. It's been reoriented to the domestic economy, and the budget has suffocated the problem with money. Sanctions have not paralyzed the military-industrial complex or provoked anti-war mobilization. Thirdly, they are, after all, sanctions, that is, a double-edged sword. Professor Wolff, in terms of this double-edged sword, he means that there has been a lot of blowback. Could you talk about sanctions in the context of both your new book and also what has been the true impact of these sanctions on Russia and the world since they began 2+ years ago?
Sure. Let me start with sanctions. There really now is a considerable literature which is either being ignored in Washington and Western Europe, which is what I guess is happening, or they may not even know about it, which is possible, but even more detrimental to them. And that literature says that they don't work. The basic message is, between what countries can do to minimize them and what they can do to evade them and what they can do to offset them, all three, minimize, evade, offset, and each of those in different ways, both countries and companies and individuals can escape sanctions. It's just the way it is. But perhaps the most important thing that is often left out that I could add to that literature, and why the professor you quote is quite right in saying that this is what has happened in the case of Russia. They've evaded some, they've used their monetary system to offset others. But perhaps the things that are not understood is that war, in one way or another, can serve as a stimulus to offset declining economic well-being. The Russians are not the first ones to do that, to show that, to discover that. The irony here is the United States. We suffered the worst collapse of capitalism in its history so far, the 1930s.
Yep.
For 11 years at least, from 1929 to
Yep.
1940,
The crash
the
of
American
29.
capitalist system collapsed. And all the efforts, first of Republican Hoover administration, then of the successive Franklin Roosevelt administrations, were unable to get us out of it, even though they tried in their ways. What did finally work,
You see, this is the point I'm making in this lesson. The pinnacle of pride, man. Pinnacle meaning the highest. I read the definition for pinnacle. It's the highest. So then that was the beginning downfall of America, man. In the 1929 crash, man. And then the Lord, 30 years later, the Lord had Abba Bivens on the scene, man.
was war. The Second World War did what? To be very simple, but to give you an idea, it took half of the millions of unemployed Americans and put them in a uniform. And it took the other half of unemployed Americans and put them in the factories to make the uniforms. Everybody got a job. Everybody got an income. All those people spent their income that they got from their job, and that stimulated the economy to produce again what it had always been capable of, but it lacked the stimulus of sufficient effective demand from an employed working class, which the war solved. Its story is a little different in Russia today, but it's not all that different. You had an economy with plenty of problems, Russia, but the war has been a stimulus and has helped them. So if the point was to bring Russia to its knees, which President Biden and others said was the goal, that's why it was a 100% failure. They haven't done that. They haven't destroyed the ruble. They haven't crippled the economy. None of it. And nobody should be surprised that when they applied what they called the mother of all sanctions, it didn't have the effect that they had proposed. The second thing I want to say, linking it to the book of Understanding Capitalism, is that if you understand capitalism today, not with the rose-colored glasses of cheerleader, which is what so many of our mainstream media and academics, I've been a professor of economics in the United States all my life, what most of our profession teaches, which is rah-rah capitalism, if you're able to get beyond the superficiality of that and to see the system for the mixture of success and failure, strength and weaknesses that it has, and then you're able to even take the next step of realizing that the empire of the United States is now coming to an end and that the dynamics of capitalism have left the Western Hemisphere and moved east, which everyone.
That's in Isaiah 13. It said they shall talk first with the Arabians, right? It said they shall neither pinch tent there. So when you read in Isaiah 13, the Arabians left, right? Let's read this. He said the weakness is in the strong. And that's in Daniel's 2, man. They shall be partly strong and partly broken. See, this is prophecy being
One ought to
spoke.
understand.
This is prophecy being spoke, but not understanding what is being spoke, man. When it's dealing with them, but we are the one to filter this through the scriptures. Let's go back a few ticks. Let me read this. Beautiful, man. Isaiah 13 in verse 19, it reads, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So the same judgment that happened to Sodom and Gomorrah and the other three cities, that's what's going to happen to America. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So Arabia left. Now guess what? All the other countries are leaving America, man. But then you had the BRICS, right? The Brexit, which was BRICS exiting out, which they still joined, but that was the Lord putting that in play to show you that prophecy is playing out, which is that Revelation 17 and 16, when it say the 10 horns upon the beast shall hate the whore, right? Then it goes to that Jeremiah, was that 50? That Jeremiah 50 and 13. Let me get this. This is prophecy playing out, man. Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bear you shall be ashamed. Who's the mother that bear America? Great Britain, man. But then you had the Brexit, which was Britain exiting out of the beast system. So look, listen.
They're linking it to the book of Understanding Capitalism, is that if you understand capitalism today, not with the rose-colored glasses of cheerleader, which is what so many of our mainstream media and academics, I've been a professor of economics in the United States all my life, what most of our profession teaches, which is rah-rah capitalism, if you're able to get beyond the superficiality of that and to see the system for the mixture of success and failure, strength and weaknesses
Yep.
that it has, and then you're able to even
Success
take
and failure, strength and weaknesses. I gotta read this. That's Daniel chapter 2. That's Daniel's chapter 2 in verse, let's see here, 43. And whereas thou saw the iron mixed with miry clay, Salakia, verse 41. And whereas thou saw the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. What he just said. Let's run it back. Let me go back to the point where he said that.
success and failure, strength and weaknesses that it
See,
has.
success and failure, strength and weaknesses. One more time. Hold on. I'm gonna get back right to the point.
Our profession teaches, which is rah-rah capitalism, if you're able to get beyond the superficiality of that and to see the system for the mixture of success and failure, strength and weaknesses that it has,
That's what it just said in Daniel.
and then you're able to even take the next step of realizing that the empire of the United States is now coming to an end,
Right.
and that the dynamics of capitalism have left the Western Hemisphere
Yep.
and moved east, which everyone ought to understand.
And see, that started with the Arabians, right? They didn't renew their deal. This is all playing out in our lifetime, man. Real time.
But we don't here in the United States. We are cheerleaders. So we made a terrible miscalculation. When the sanctions were applied to Russia by the people who believed they would have these effects, which they didn't, the reason they didn't have the effects is also, in addition to what I've said, the allies that the Russians now have. Above all, this thing called the BRICS, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and half a dozen more countries that joined since. Russia turned to them. And what damage could have been done by the sanctions never even became an issue because India and China, particularly, stepped up and were good allies and have been ever since, as I'm speaking to you, for the Russians. But that's not so much about the Russians as about the United States not understanding understanding that the world economy is not what it was because American capitalism is not what it was and is not capable of doing what it once was capable of doing. It's very hard for people to understand basic changes, especially when they carry negative implications. But that's the truth of where we are. And it's being shown to us, for example, by the colossal failure in the Ukraine.
Yeah, and the narrative in the Western media has been that more can be done now. So it was that these sanctions were going to bring down Russia, and now there's a lot of clamor in the Western media that more can be done, and some alarmism about sanctions actually working. Unlike what the Russian economists are saying at the MEMRI Institute, there's a lot of reports about China not being able to settle payments with its bigger state banks with Russia. But even in these reports, you have, for example, in Business Insider saying that Russia is still receiving payments for raw materials such as oils and grains, and its payment for China's key technologies are also still getting through.
See,
And
that's U.S. slandering that, man. U.S. is slandering the news that's going back and forth with China, Russia, Ukraine, and Taiwan. America is a liar, man.
that the big problem is that there's money in limbo with smaller banks, and this is hurting
Yep.
smaller.
Somebody pulling the comment boy here. Sanctions made Russia stronger, and it did. And it making the other allies stronger because they looking at Russia like, man, these niggas ain't folding, man, because of U.S. Russia gonna be the guard, man. Ezekiel 38. This is why other nations is joining the BRICS.
Firms. Professor Wolf, could you help educate the audience about exactly why it is that the United States and the Western media are so focused on these small issues, it seems like, with sanctions and this enthusiasm that more can be done, when in fact it looks like more cannot be done? Could you help educate the audience on this contradiction?
Sure, I'd be glad to. I've been following these things now for decades, and there's an unmistakable pattern that gets reproduced. Over the last 30 to 40 years, what we have in the People's Republic of China is really nothing short of a historical, epic achievement. It will be noted for decades, for centuries to come. And this has nothing to do with whether you like or don't like the Chinese Communist Party or Xi Jinping or socialism or capital. It had nothing to do with that. It has to do with what they have actually been able to do on the ground in building up an economy. 40 years ago, they were the largest country by population on earth. They were also one of the poorest countries on earth. They had just come to the end of 100 years, as they call it there, 100 years of humiliation.
Somebody say on the comment board, on their comment board, it said Lewis Rose. Europe is paying the price for America's wars and excesses. No, Paul Whitstone, USA and its uh, boomerang sanctions. These people going in, man. These people is going in on Babylon the Great, man. Yeah, everybody know.
In which they barely held on to their independence while Western colonial powers of one kind or another took over cities, regions, industries, in which, opium was a national disaster, wiping out whole sections of major Chinese cities. And it's endless. For those of you who might really want to learn about it, an American missionary named Pearl Buck wrote a book way back when called The Good Earth. You read that, you will understand the poverty of a broken down, dying system 40 years ago. Okay. It had been conquered by a revolution, a communist revolution, back in 1949. But that communist revolution inherited one of the poorest corners on the planet. What happened in 40 years is incredible. China is now the first major economic competitor of the United States in a century. The last century has been the American Empire. We took over from the British Empire. The Chinese are now a competitor. The Americans that I'm talking about, we haven't had an economic competitor for a century. Russia might have been a challenge when it was the Soviet Union, politically and ideologically, but economically, not at all. I mean, it isn't now either. The GDP, the gross domestic product of Russia, which is a rough measure of its size, total output of goods and services in a year, is about $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion. The United States GDP is 23, $24 trillion. There's David and Goliath. There's no competition. There's no economic danger from Russia. It's too small. It's too underdeveloped. Might get there one day. The GDP of China is about 18 trillion. That's a whole different ball game. People don't even know that in the United States, and you can't understand the world if you don't have at least some rough idea of the relative size of the players. If Russia has dealings with China, it's dealing with something much, much bigger and richer than itself, and the country that's in a position to help Russia in lots and lots of ways, which has gone on. All right, over these 40 years, as the Chinese grow, and by the way, the average rate of growth over those last 30 to 40 years in China has been 6 to 9% per year. Over the same period in the United States, 2.5, maybe 3% a year. Not even close. That's why they caught up. And you can dance all you want around how and why, but that's the reality. Okay, why am I telling you this? Because at every step, starting 40 years ago, the Western press was unwilling to credit what was coming out of China, what was being said by the Chinese leaders. We are growing, we're expanding. Oh, we can now hire 1 million more workers. And we can now have our first big ocean liner. And now we have really rapid railroad. Oh, we have a faster railroad than you do in the United States. Isn't that odd? We have high tech. We have the best telephone in the world. We have. At every step, it was said Chinese statistics are phony. It was only when large numbers of Americans went to China, got on the rapid rail that flies through half the cities of that country, to realize that they're ahead of the United States in such transportation. Far ahead.
And we know that.
Then we have what you're asking about. When you can't challenge anymore, because really the world won't let you, the obvious arrival of China as a major economic power in the world, second only to the United States and catching up fast. Now, what do? You recognize that? No. Celebrate it? Of course not. Try to understand it even, not much. But you can find something else to pick at. Oh, their property values are overinflated. By the way, they are. Or they're pumping a lot of money into their economy. By the way, they are. That's what economies like that do. They have problems and then they solve them. At least that's what the Chinese have done. And that's what, by the way, we do here in the West too. You can.
Hey, and they tell you in let me see. In second Ezra 15, because China has made themselves like Babylon or Asia Minor, Asia overall, Asia Minor period. This is second Ezra 15 and verse 47. Second Ezra 15 and 46. And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, just like Babylon, that they may please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. See, in Jeremiah, the Lord is cold, man. Jeremiah 47, it reads, I love to read this. Is it 47? Hold on here. 48. In Jeremiah 48, it reads, I'm gonna start at verse 2. There shall be no more praise of Moab in Heshbon. They have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also shall thou be cut off, O madmen. The sword shall pursue thee. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a great cry to be heard. I love to read this. It say, flee, save yourselves, and be like the heath in the wilderness. For because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasures, thou shalt also be taken. And Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with her priests and his princes together. And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken. Give wings unto Moab. I love this because the Lord like give wings to Moab, that it may flee and get away. For the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein. Give wings to Moab. Let me see if you can get away from me. Listen, so 16 minutes in. Lord willing, I want to come back tomorrow and play. I want to play some more of this. We had 16 minutes and 27 seconds. I got another video I want to play too, but I want to read these articles again. So these other videos, as a matter of fact, since I played that, let me play this, man. It's only 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes. Cause it's a Russia openly threatens to wipe out UK with hypersonic missiles. Putin's aid chilling threats. And man, it's a lot of this, man. It's a lot of this right now. Let me come back to me. Let me pull this. Hold on here, bear with me. I want to show this. Oh, well. Come on. Oh, look at this one. This one right here, right? So this one say, this one 9 minutes, but I ain't gonna play it. I'm gonna go back to the other that's 3 minutes. So this will say, Putin will attack Britain if Ukraine uses Storm Shadow missiles inside Russia. See it? I ain't gonna play that. I'm gonna say that one for tomorrow. But let me play this one. I want to get this other one. Bear with me here. See, these are tons of proverbs that the scripture said. This is here. Let's play this one. A threat to Britain, man. Russia to nuke Ukraine won't exist. Ukraine won't exist after. Putin aid big warning as Ukraine war rages on. Now, this guy here was the ex-president. Check this out. Ex-Russian president and deputy chair of Security Council has issued a big threat to UK and Ukraine. The ex-president marked Ukraine Foreign Secretary David Lemy's remarks on Ukraine. This after Lemmy promised 100 years of support to Ukraine during his visit to the war-torn nation. It said Britain's Foreign Secretary David Lammy has promised Ukraine 100 years of support. He is lying. So-called Ukraine will not last a quarter of that time. The island called Britain is likely to sink in the next few years. Our hypersonic missiles will help if necessary. And the nigga talking about missiles ain't in the Bible, man. What are you niggas talking about? Funded in a what's that strategical manner. He went on to threat UK saying that island called Britain is likely to sink in the next few years. See, this is where we at, man. Real time war, man. Let's get this. Yep. Beat the plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let me get this. Says some here. Might well get it. It's Thursday. I don't give a damn. Look at this one. This is an article here, though. China and Russia are ramping up joint military drills. What's their end goal? To destroy Babylon the Great. As Russian military last week launched globe-spanning drills, widely seen as a show of strength directed at the United States. Yeah, man. Hold on. Shalom to the Akman, walk to the knee, and watch him outside, Barakathon. Let's play some of this guy. Let's just play some of this. Lord willing. Where is he at? Let's see here. Bear with me. Oh, there's another article, which I had read earlier. China freezes assets of 9 U.S. firms over Taiwan arms sales. And I was looking at an article the other day, and I didn't click on it, but it was one of the soldier was saying that they are about to invade Taiwan, man. So let me get this. I want to play some of this guy. Trying to see which one. There's a few minutes of this guy here. Hold on. Bear with me. I'm going to close out. Over 3 and 2 up. No challenge for his asset. It got to be this one. Hold on. Let's see here. Nope. So this is the one. It said world at war. Russia gave Iran nuclear bomb secrets in return for missiles to strike Ukraine, West fears. See, this where we at, man. I'm looking for the one. Where is it? What was that? Hold on here. I'm looking for this one guy. I think that's it. Okay. Bear with me. Salakia. I just want to show. I'm gonna let this guy speak a little bit. Cause that's where we at, man. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, man. Let me see if I can get this. Let me see here. No, that ain't the one. Hold on. Trying to find the one. There was one more here. Where's this guy at, man? Damn it. Okay, this is it. Right here. This one. Let's play some of this.
And more and more amount of them saying that Russia will have to use tactical nuclear weaponry.
Sergei Markov is a Russian political scientist and a close advisor to Vladimir Putin, and he joins us now. Hello.
Hello.
Russia attacked Ukraine, so why should they be upset if Ukraine fights back with all the weapons at its disposal?
It's very easy. First of all, the main reason why Russia attacked Ukraine is to liberate Ukrainian people from clear terroristic, Russophobic and neo-Nazi regime. It's first.
Yeah, well, it's not liberating it, is it? It's bombarding it, killing its citizens.
Liberating them. And your government is lying.
Well, liberating them by killing them.
To lie. But okay, but go ahead and understand. Before this, during these 2 years, Ukrainian army.
See, this say nuclear test or attack on British assets. How will Putin respond to long-range attacks on Russia? See, they don't understand, man. Play a little bit of this.
Strike Russian army, it's bad things, but it's reasonable. But mostly important that now you want to bomb Russian cities by your rocket missiles and by your satellite group. So you want to target your rocket missiles to the Russian cities to kill our people. Your Great Britain is going to do it. And you think that we will keep silent? Because Ukrainian army has no own satellite group. So it's exactly you are going to target these rocket missiles to Russian cities. And
Russia, hang on. No. Russia is getting weapons from Iran. Russia is getting weapons from China, yes, which it is targeting at Ukraine and killing Ukrainian citizens. Ukrainian civilians. So why can't Ukraine retaliate?
Yeah, the difference is very simple. If Russia gets some rocket missiles, which by the way Iran deny, but nevertheless, let's imagine that Russia gets some rocket missiles from North Korea and from Iran, but we're targeting target ourselves. But Ukrainian army has no satellite group, and that's why it's your Americans and British going to target those rocket missiles to Russian cities. It's directed movement to war. You want to have war? Go ahead.
Well, what would war mean? Does that mean you expect?
You want to have war? We finna go to war, man. You see, people in America always slandering, man. Ukraine is losing, man. America is losing. I was reading another article, and it was talking about but in the scriptures first and foremost, it said in Joel 3, when these missiles fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. The sword is talking about the defense system that America and Israel has. They don't got one. They don't have a defense system. So I was looking at an article that said that U.S. don't have no type of detection system against the missiles that Russia got, man. But this is what the scriptures say first. Anyway, I just want to show some of this, man. Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise and glory to you. How Bahashim Yahushua. Bahashim Rikah Kodash. The Bonner City apostles and the bishops and elders, a great minister who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In a sense, it's salutation to all the Akim pushing the truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth. The entire world shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Agwath who are listening, learning. If you sisters who are listening, learning, throughout to the end. May Yahweh Shema shall continue blessing your houses. May the blessing of Alexa be upon your houses. Till next time, I say Shalom. Listen, man, Babylon the Great don't have no. They have been lifted up for so long, man. Babylon the Great has been a proud, lifted up nation for the longest of time. The pinnacle of pride, man. Oh, let me close with this. As a matter of fact, I want to put my boy back on the screen. Let me close with this. This is Obadiah chapter 1. These niggas been brought down since that crash of 29, man. America has been falling. Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See, back to that word ground again. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Till next time, I say Shalom. Hey, stay prayed up. May the blessing of Alexa be upon your houses. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Shalom.